Greetings everyone, my name is Raziel and today I once again get to reveal some cards for you. This time we are looking at the new Night Lords from the Hidden Dagger expansion. So let's start with the first card. First of all we have the Lux Obscura Punisher tank, an 8 energy vehicle with 9 attack, 6 health, flank, as well as the murder ability to deal 2 damage to all enemies. If you don't exactly remember what murder was again, essentially, if a troop with murder attacks and deals excessive damage, for example, if this troop would attack an 8 or less HP troop and it would kill the troop, then it would obviously deal 1 or more damage, 1 or more excessive damage, and then it would trigger murder. I think this is the best 7+ energy troop that I had to reveal like in forever. It's finally not a troop that you just play and then that just sits there and does nothing. This thing actually does something when you play it, so that's really nice. However, why would you want to play this over Shayal, the sex demon? Shayal essentially does everything this card does minus the situational AoE, but it also has terror. Sure, if you don't have Shayal, this card is great. But I don't really see a reason to play this card if you have Shayal. Maybe as like a one-off, like for example Blood Angels have Sanguinary Guard and they usually play both Guard and Shayal, so maybe you will play one copy of Lux Obscura and Shayal, but I don't think it's gonna be seen any more play than this. Next up we got Headsman Nemes. 4 energy Astartes with 4 attack, 4 health, terror, as well as the murder ability to give +1 attack to all your units this turn. I think this card is great. It is not understated, which is usually a thing with cards like this. It reminds me of Andros Shrek, so essentially this is like the little cousin of him. If you can essentially set up an infinite combo like you could with Shrek, like essentially if your opponent plays the Defenders of Calavan card Praetor Castiel or Defense Force and this card has enough attack, you can essentially infinitely kill that troop if you have Fierce Onslaught. This card does the same. However, this card only buffs or gets buff if this card specifically kills something, unlike Shrek, which just needed stuff to die. But given the fact that this card buffs your entire board, I think if you have like this card and Fierce Onslaught, you can turn any half-decent board into lethal out of nowhere. Obviously, I don't know exactly if this will be a reliable setup, but in theory this card can lead to some pretty big damage. So I definitely think that most decks will want to play this card. Next up we have Harbinger Duel, the Contemptor Dreadnought. A 5 energy vehicle with 6 attack, 4 health, as well as the murder ability to give can't attack to all enemy troops until your next turn. And here we have it. The thing that I essentially always get to reveal, the vehicle that you play and then it does nothing and then you need to wait. Yeah, this card is not great at all. First of all, it's a 5 energy troop with 4 HP, that's already very bad. Then it's a vehicle, so essentially any kind of minor ordnance coming its way will instantly wipe it. And then it doesn't even have terror, so even though it has 6 attack, its 4 HP mean that you usually won't trigger this murder ability more than once, unless we get some way to give this thing terror. But the Headsman Nemes, for example, already had terror baseline, so why can't this thing have terror? Like, come on, it's a fucking dreadnought from the Night Lords. If I would stand opposite side of this thing, I would be scared as hell. Yeah, as I said, this card won't be played at all, unless it gets like a rally or flank or I don't know. But yeah, this card is sadly a bit underwhelming. And finally we have the Black Tiger the Panoply of Slaughter. A 6 energy legendary tactic that gives your warlord +2 attack during your turn and terror. Yeah, as I said, this is essentially the White Tiger Dao, but they painted it black so it has terror and therefore it needs to cost 1 energy more. If you are familiar with the Whites card, which I think you are because of the recent rise in Jagathai Khan, you will also remember that White Tiger Dao was essentially a card that was only for Jagathai and not for any of the other more troop-based warlords, and I fully expect this card to be the same. So if Conrad Curse stays true to his Jumbo's roots, this card will be for him and for none of the others. So the main thing this card is going to be doing is going to mess up your draft picks, because it's legendary, so maybe you get this card instead of a good troop. Yeah. As I said, Conrad Curse probably wants this, if he's once again the gym boss, like always. But other than that, most decks will probably want to skip this. And that's it. These are my reveals. I personally think that the new murder mechanic really suits the Night Lords from a lore perspective, because it essentially means they deal more damage than necessary, which is obviously a thing the Night Lords did. They were unnecessarily cruel to enact fear in their opponents. The cards that I had specifically overall are pretty good. If we ignore Thule, then I would say all of these cards have a niche and will see some kind of play in even a single deck. Overall, I think the Night Lords will most likely be very solid, at least. Who am I kidding? Obviously, they're going to be meta on release, like every faction, especially Sons of Horus. But yeah, I hope you liked this reveal, and I hope to see you guys again for the Iron Warrior or Alpha Legion reveals, which I'm really looking forward to. Till next time!